Thundarr the Barbarian.
An underrated gem of the 80s cartoons is Thundarr the Barbarian. The show was about the titular character Thundarr, who rode across the world with his friends Ookla the Mok and Ariel the sorceress. The show is set in a post-apocalyptic Earth, where mutants roam the streets and evil wizards rule by combining magic with what remains of technology. If it weren't for Thundarr and his friends, the wizards would run humans into extinction and use up all natural resources for their own gain. What if this reality did come true? What if the wizards managed to erase Thundarr, Ookla, and Ariel from the face of the earth to do what they wanted to? These are the dark questions the new Thundarr the Barbarian comic book series explores. Written by Jason Aaron and illustrated by Kewber Baal, the series started in February 2026 and has already released 5 thrilling issues. Let's dive into the latest issues right now. What happened? I know it's been a while since issue 4, so I'm going to give you a quick recap of what happened. 1994 was the year when everything went kaput. A runaway planet hurtling between the Earth and the Moon unleashed cosmic destruction. 2,000 years later, Earth was left in an apocalyptic wasteland. Humans were sold to mutants in slave markets, and wizards ruled the world. Our heroic trio, Thundarr, Ariel, and Ookla, break into the secret headquarters of the Council of Wizards and find out that they had built the Moon Dial, a device that would give them control over time itself. Through flashbacks, we also find out about Thundarr's past, where he was a prisoner of Lord Sabian, a vicious wizard. Sabian forced Thundarr to fight other prisoners and creatures in the arena for his and his people's entertainment. Thundarr hated his life. He would fight all day long and drink to numb his pain, but he regularly had dreams of riding around the world, a free man, with a beautiful and intelligent woman and a strong creature. He didn't let himself believe that dream, though. In the present, our heroic trio attacks the Council of Wizards, but the wizards are just one step ahead. They turn on the Moon Dial and escape through the portal that leads them to the past. The trio followed them and realized that they had ended up on the exact day Earth changed forever, moments before the runaway planet hurtled between the Moon and the Earth. The wizards wanted to siphon the powerful energies at play during the cataclysm to make themselves even more powerful. Back in the present, since Thundarr was the most popular fighter, King Sabian's stepdaughter, Princess Ariel, told him that Thundarr was a beacon of hope for the people. To quash that hope, Sabian set up a match between Thundarr and the Mok he had in captivity, Ookla. Ookla was stronger than Thundarr, and Thundarr, having had enough of a slave's life, asked the Mok to kill him. We are interrupted by yet another backstory, that of Ariel. Long ago, Sabian had put all of the children in his captivity through a dangerous test. They were made to face a large, red-eyed flying monster created from his sorcery. Ariel had managed to push it back and impressed Sabian into adopting her. He had forged her into a powerful wizard. So in 1994, she had no problem taking on multiple wizards at the same time and defeating them. While doing so, she had not anticipated that her stepfather would attack her. To her horror, Sabian was not dead, as she previously assumed, and he killed her easily. In the past, Ariel inspired Ookla and Thundarr, begging them not to kill each other, as they would play into Sabian's plans. Fearing a rebellion from the slaves, Sabian stopped the fight. In 1994, the wizards channeled their power to erase Ookla and Thundarr from reality. Long ago, Sabian had been gifted with the hilt of the Sun Sword by the Pigmen, but he had failed to wield it as it refused to work in his hand. Ariel grabbed it and passed it to Thundarr. She told him that she had the same dreams he did, and that all 3 of them could defeat Sabian together. The next day, Sabian had found out about Ariel's betrayal. So he brought the large red-eyed flying monster to the arena along with Ookla and Thundarr. He ordered Ariel to kill Thundarr and threatened to unleash the monster onto the slaves if she didn't obey. As soon as Ariel and Sabian entered the arena, Thundarr fought back against the soldiers, holding his chains, and freed himself. He triggered the blade of the Sun Sword and attacked Sabian, but Ariel was the one who struck the death blow with her sorcery. In his last words, Sabian told her that it was not the end yet, as their very existence would be erased soon, and Ariel was determined to stop Sabian once more. Death is not the end. Now, there has been a lot of back and forth, but I hope you caught up in time, pun intended. After Sabian had been defeated and presumed dead, the slaves were freed and they all surrounded Thundarr, Ariel, and Ookla. They were angry, and it would have led to carnage if it wasn't for Ariel. She calmed them down and urged them to choose peace over the cruelty her father's rule had established. She asked them to choose a leader for themselves. Thundarr won the election in a landslide, but the barbarian was in no way interested in becoming a king. Come morning, he left with Ariel and Ookla. Ariel led them to a museum which was overgrown with vines and shrubbery. She knew the museum housed the one thing they would need to defeat the nefarious plan Sabian had put in motion. Her knowledge of the museum came from her stepfather's library, where she had read every grimoire she could get her hands on. However, the grimoire had not warned them about the radioactive dragon waiting for them inside the museum. It wasn't a problem though, just a tiny hurdle. The three defeated it, and as Ariel searched the place, Thundarr studied the Sun Sword. Despite being powerful enough to slaughter wizards and dragons alike, the Sun Sword did not have any evil aura, which baffled Thundarr. He wondered who created it if it was not a product of the sorcery he detested. Ariel found what she had come for, the Pendant of Perpetuity, an artifact that would help them join the battle for the future in the past. Ariel explained to Thundarr and Ookla that when Sabian was about to die, she saw a vision of dark days when the wizards unite to cast a spell that would exterminate humans. Ookla and Thundarr were eager to slay the wizards, and Ariel told them that to do so, they would need to go to the past, the day of the cataclysm. She warned them both that they were going to tamper with time, which meant that there was no guarantee that they would ever return to the life they knew. With a sword in his hand and anger in his belly, Thundarr was as ready as ever. They turned to Ookla and asked what he thought, and asked him what his story was. Ookla's story is revealed to us through pictures. He was the child of two happy Moks, and he grew up defending his people from the soldiers of the wizards. He was well liked in his tribe, and had a family of his own, with a wife and 3 kids. But he was eventually captured and thrown in the same prison as Thundarr. The rest, as they say, is history. We understood the story because we had visual help. All Thundarr and Ariel had were the indecipherable grunts and roars of Ookla. Thundarr wondered out loud whether Ookla just said he once ate a man. Ookla roared as a reply, and the two understood it to mean that he would accompany them, whether they liked it or not. Ariel started opening a portal to the past when suddenly, Thundarr screamed out in pain. He felt that it was too late and saw all 3 of them fade away. In 1994, Thundarr and Ookla rushed at the wizards to avenge Ariel's death. Their efforts were useless though. Ookla faded away completely, and Thundarr began to fade too. Thundarr vowed to claw back from the realms beyond to defeat the wizards, declaring that no hell was capable of holding him. Gemini smiled sinisterly at Thundarr's outburst and told him that he would not be granted death like his friends. He assured him that years from now he would look back to the present day and wish with all his heart for his death. The wizards did not let him fade away into oblivion. They shackled him with chains in his last shred of existence. He could see and hear, but could not be seen or heard. They rejoiced hearing humanity's screams, the result of the cataclysm, and then dragged Thundarr to their present time. With their new powers, they unleashed great horrors upon their world. A magical leprosy was the first to spread. It affected only humans and gave them slow, agonizing deaths. Most of the infected threw themselves off cliffs to end their misery. Soon the population grew thin, and those who survived were less intelligent, sterile, weak, and mute. In the beginning, the wizards entertained themselves by hunting humans, but it gave them no joy, as it was like slaughtering sheep. Humans could not be domesticated either, so all the remaining humans were herded into the arena to kill each other. Thundarr was forced to witness all of this as he was chained to an X in the arena, invisible to everyone. He screamed at the humans in vain, urging them not to kill each other, but his words were never heard. But Thundarr never begged for death or release, as the wizards hoped he would. A short while after all the humans were killed, Thundarr went mad. To make things worse, the wizards forgot him in the arena, and Thundarr remained, mutely witnessing the corpses rotting into skeletons. Years later, Gemini walked into the arena with his soldier. He was verifying recent news he had heard that Sabian had conquered Mindok's kingdom. The soldier said it was true, and there were rumors that Sabian was going to attack Gemini next. So Gemini asked him to set a meeting with Crom so that he could kill Crom and claim his armies. While walking, his eyes fell on Thundarr, lying face down in the arena. Gemini dismissed him as the ghost of the last human, someone not worth remembering. The words jogged Thundarr's memory, and he waded through all his memories to realize where he was and who he was. His mind cleared and white-hot rage returned. He stood up, and seeing Gemini, he hit him with his chain. Gemini's head detached from his body, and his soldier yelled out in surprise. He could not believe that Thundarr, who had supposedly died at the hands of the wizards years ago, was in front of him. Thundarr did not give him time to digest that, and brought his chain down on him and dismembered his body with a loud roar. Gemini's headless body punched Thundarr and his head floated back to him. He told Thundarr that he remembered him just as a mountain would remember a pebble. Gemini had decided he had suffered enough and wanted to end his life. So he broke the iron collar around Thundarr's neck, the only thing tethering Thundarr to existence and reality. Thundarr began to drift back in time and reached 1994 again. He was back to the fateful day seconds before Ookla's disappearance. The Sun Sword appeared again in his hand. Ookla began disappearing once again, and Thundarr did not want to go through the horrors again. In his shock, he let go of the Sun Sword, but a capable hand grasped it and told Thundarr that there was still hope. As Thundarr turned to locate the source of the voice, he saw himself holding two Sun Swords. This was the Thundarr of the past who had traveled to 1994 using Ariel's pendant. He assured him that the battle had just begun and this time he won't have to fight alone. This was the issue I personally enjoyed the most. If I had to pick one word to describe this issue, it would be unabashedly hopecore. You can lose your friends, lose your voice, lose your existence, but there will still be a way out, and the only person who can help you is yourself. I know that's being too deep for a comic book, but what can I say? Thundarr's optimism and resilience, it has completely gripped me. The story moves at a good pace too, not too slow and not too rushed. The dynamic between the characters is distinct and lovable. Ariel talks to both Ookla and Thundarr with kindness. Ookla communicates with Ariel with love and reverence while roaring irritatedly at Thundarr. Thundarr keeps pulling Ookla's leg while maintaining a cordial relationship with Ariel. These minute changes are what make reading Thundarr so enjoyable. The art is magnificent, and the icing on the cake is Ariel. She is drawn beautifully, with attractive, sparkling eyes. With eyes like those, no wonder she had no problem earning the trust of Ookla and Thundarr. They almost reflect her pure intentions. Alright, I think I am done waxing poetic about Thundarr the Barbarian. What did you think of it? Go read it and let me know in the comments below. If you liked the video, make sure to tap on that thumbs up button and subscribe to us. I will soon be back with more awesome stuff, but until then, goodbye and ride!